Good morning. Welcome, all are welcome. Good morning. Hello, and today's message will be about food and community and culture. And you can see that the first song is Hank Williams. Now, you might know this song, and I think it deserves a little bit of interpretation because some of it's in Cajun, and my Cajun's not very good. So I had to look up some things. And first of all, a pirogue is a boat, kind of like a canoe, and you have to use an oar or a pole. So the second line is, me gotta go pole the pirogue. Me gotta row the boat. Okay, and then we have some towns, Thibodaux and Fountaindeau, and they can also be last names of folks. And then there's the line, swap some mon, not your mom. Swap some mon, like money or belongings for swapping and bartering for what you need. So now we got our Cajun lesson, and the song is about food and how we use food in celebration with weddings and parties. You know, when you have a party, you got good food, maybe some beverages of adult sort, and you have a gay old time. Goodbye, Joe, me gotta go, me oh my oh. Me gotta go, pull the pirogue down the bayou. My Yvonne, the sweetest one, oh me, oh my, oh. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Jambalaya and a crawfish pie and a filet gumbo. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see my Michelle and me, oh. Pick guitar, fill fruit jar, and big gay, oh. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Thibodaux, the Fountaindeau, the place is buzzing. Kinfolk come to see Yvonne by the dozen. Dress in style, go hog wild, and oh me, oh my, oh. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Come on, everybody. Jambalaya and a crawfish pie and a filet gumbo. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see my shadow me, oh. Pick guitar, fill fruit jar, and be gay, oh. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Settle down, far from town, get them a pirogue. And they'll catch all the fish in the bayou. Swap some on to get Yvonne what she need, oh. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Here we go. Jambalaya and a crawfish pie and a filet gumbo. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see my Michelle and me, oh. Pick guitar, fill fruit jar, and be gay, oh. Wee-haw! Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Wee-haw!
I grew up in the southeast part of Arkansas, kind of like we are here, adjacent to Oklahoma and Missouri, except it was Mississippi and Louisiana, so it's kind of our geographic anthem. It's very, very nostalgic. Thank you for that. Good morning, everyone. My name is Leanda, and I'm on the Chalice team here at UUFF, and I also teach religious education for kiddos 11 and up downstairs in the mornings. And if you are interested in that, join us because we have a lot of fun. Unitarian Universalism is a liberal religious tradition that values freedom and religious thought and journey. We uphold the unity of interconnections, connections to each other, to all of life, and to the precious universe of which we are a part. And that's actually what we did in RE this morning. So kids did a nice interconnection mural outside on the sidewalk if you want to check that out afterwards. We affirm the universality of love and hope as we journey together in community, and so we welcome you, whoever you are at this moment and wherever you are in your spiritual journey. For those of you joining on Zoom, and it's your first time, check out our website. It's uufayetteville.org. You can also sign up for a weekly email there, and it kind of just lets you know what's going on here. If you're visiting in person today and it's your first time, we are super excited that you're here. If you want the emails, you can look on the seat back in front of you, and there is a card that you can fill out for that. Let's see. Also, there are yellow cards on the back of those seats, and they're for joys and concerns, which is a part of our service. And we are going to drop stones this morning, so if you would like to go ahead and fill out your joy or concern on the card, you can bring it forward if you would like it shared. You can mark on there if you'd like it shared or not. If you're on Facebook, you're going to be asked to type your joy or concern in the comments. Those are going to be public, so just so you know, there's no way to make those private. So, welcome all you seekers and searchers, lovers of light and truth. May you find meaning and fulfillment here today.
Good morning. My name is Melly Adams, and our call to worship today is a little piece from this book, which I will also draw heavily on in the speaking later, called The Cooking Gene by Michael W. Twitty, an African-American food historian and all-around amazing cook. It says, around 6 or 7, I began to learn to cook, mostly out of boredom as the only kid in a house full of adults. The conversation began. My first task was to be the official taster when Grammy prepared meals, and I learned bite by bite the proprietary taste of our favorite dishes. Jean, will you please come help us light our chalice?
One of our traditions is the lighting of the chalice at the beginning of the service and extinguishing the chalice at the end. And we invite you, if you agree with these words and feel comfortable speaking them, we invite you to say these words along with me. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in truth, and to help one another. Thus do we covenant together. And now hymn number 52 in your book, or the words will be up here on the screen. And are we inviting people to stand?
Oh, please.
We invite you to stand and sing along. Jory?
Sweet fields of autumn, the gold grain is falling, the white clouds drift lonely, the wild swan is calling. Alas for the daisies, the tall fern and grasses, when winds sweep and rainfall fill lowlands and passes. The snows of December shall fill windy hollow, the blank green elms, and March winds shall follow. The tear through the valleys, the print of their going, and diamonds of sleet mark the ridges of snowing. The stillness of death shall stoop over the winter. The plovers sweep low where the pale streamlets falter. But deep in the earth clod the black seed is living, when spring sounds her bugles for rousing and giving.
By the way, a plover is a bird.
Just thought I'd throw that out there, too. I learned a lot.
Cooking will do that for you. Our story for all ages today is called Bilal Cooks Dal. If you don't know what dal is, you will know by the end of this story. If you already do, good for you. Bilal cooks dal. Bilal is biking outside with his friends when his father steps out of the house. Bilal, it's time to begin cooking dinner, says Abu. Bilal's friends ask why they would need to start cooking so early. This dish takes patience, Abu says. This dish takes time. It's the best meal of all, says Bilal. It's dal. Yay. What's dal like? Is it salty? Does it taste really good? Dal is nutty and creamy and warm like soup. There are all different kinds. Come see. You can help us pick which one. They take off their shoes. They wash their hands. Bilal grabs his favorite stool. They study the colors. Yellow, orange, green, brown. Yellow, Elias says, because yellow is sunflowers and rubber ducks and the sun. And hot dal is my favorite, Bilal says. When Abu scoops out a cup of the bright yellow dal, it clatters into the bowl. They're small, like pebbles, but shaped like pancakes. And they slip through Bilal's fingers like sand. They line up the spices. Bilal breathes in the scent of turmeric, chili, cumin. Morgan sprinkles salt. Elias tries to help. Bilal combines the spices. Abu pulls out a pot, the biggest they have. It looks funny. Morgan frowns. Smells funny, whispers Elias. Do you think it will taste okay? And suddenly Bilal is a little tiny bit worried that maybe, just maybe, his friends won't like dal at all. Is it ready? Asks Elias. Can we taste? Asks Morgan. No, Abu says. Dal takes time. We have to wait. The flavors mix together slowly. You kids go play and have fun while it cooks. They run outside to play hopscotch. Elias numbers the sidewalk to 20. Let's make it longer to 100, he says. It'll definitely be done by then. So they hop, skip, and jump to the end. Caleb and Emma join too. Let's check if it's ready. Let's go take a bite. Not yet, Bilal tells them. Dal takes time. We have to wait. They put on swimsuits, slip down the slide, and cannonball into Morgan's pool. Elias floats. Morgan dives. Some more neighborhood kids join them, and they all play Marco Polo. Is the dal done? Asks Morgan. It's got to be ready by now. Splash. Bilal squints at the sun. It's not as high in the sky. Almost, he tells them. Dal takes time. We have to wait. They hike through the forest and skip pebbles in the stream as the sun starts to set. As they watch fireflies glow, they hear Abu call out, Bilal, it's almost time. They march up the cobblestone steps, they knock on the yellow door, and as loud as they can, they ask, is it done? Come see. Abu smiles and opens the door wider. The kids rush inside. Bilal lifts up the lid. He peeks in the pot. Abu says, ready for the final steps. They chop up the onions, chop ginger, press garlic, squeeze lemons, top it off with fresh cilantro. Bilal puts out plates. Abu sets out the naan. The kids pull up every chair in the house. Bilal watches his friends take a spoonful of dal. It's steamy, says Morgan. Like soup, says Elias. It tastes garlicky and salty and sweet. I like the onions. I like the lemon. And lots of happy food noises. And the way it's so creamy, it melts in your mouth. Dal takes time. We had to wait, but Bilal, you were right. Dal tastes great. Bilal looks at his dad and smiles. Abu winks. Tasty, isn't it? He says. Like my Ami once made. My friends and I helped her once, like you. Dal is tiny. Dal is tough. But with a little time and a lot of patience, it becomes the softest, tastiest, best thing in the whole wide world. And the best part is sharing it with friends. That's why Bilal loves dal so much. And there's a recipe. If you'd like it, I'll have it. So if you didn't find out by the end of the story, dal is what we in American English would call lentils. And dal is really thick, awesome lentil soup. So thanks to Bilal's dad for sharing the recipe.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jules Taylor. I'm part of the Chalice team also. And today I'm going to do the joys and concerns. So if you haven't filled out a yellow card, please take a moment to fill out a joy or a concern that you'd like for us to all share and hold together. And let me know if you'd like for me to read it. And I'm going to stand down here where these stones are. If you'd like to come through and hand me your card and drop a stone into the water. And please, even if you don't feel comfortable filling out a card, come on through the line and hold a thought in your mind and drop a stone into the water. It would be fabulous. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jory.
I'd just like to echo Jules that it's really fantastic to be able to meet here together like this, especially after we weren't able to for such a long time. The icky part of that, though, is that it takes money for us to be able to meet like this. It takes money, it takes time, it takes volunteers, and we have a fabulous service, but that is the truth of it. So this work of the fellowship that we do in this area, it's possible because of generous contributions of everyone's time, energy, and money. If you are a member, this is one way to participate in our work of love, peace, and justice within our community. Every contribution, no matter what size, is appreciated. It's helpful, whether it is money, your time, your talent. We appreciate it all. We're going to pass the offering basket this morning. If you would like to give financially, if you don't want to use the basket, you can go to our website, uufayetteville.org/give, and give online.
As a side note, I love hearing children and baby noises in this congregation. For those of you who are new to this congregation or have only been here a few years, when I first started coming here over a decade ago, we didn't actually have a lot of baby voices, of baby noises. Baby noises are a sign of growing community and of our growing fellowship, and I just can't get over how amazing it is to hear them. So, parents and grown-ups in charge of small children, please, please, please don't feel discouraged. I love your babies' voices. My name is Melly Adams. I am a longtime member here. I'm a member of the Chalice team, which helps to put together services. I also sing in the choir. I'm also a parent and was a stay-at-home parent exclusively for quite a long time. So I've done my share of cooking. My mother was asked once about our lineage, about our genealogy. And after giving some family names, some of which were very colorful and interesting, she said, well, you know, if you want to know your lineage, you go to the library. It's in the records. But if you want to know your history, go to the kitchen. Cooking has always been the place where secrets and feelings are shared among the people who work there together. Family recipes are held in close confidence or shared with everyone, depending on the attitude of those who have them. And those recipes are different. They vary. The same thing can mean many things to many different people. Most of the arguments around the table at our family, especially at holiday dinners, revolved around what this or that thing was actually called. My father-in-law and I almost came to blows about the proper definition of cobbler, but that's okay. We'll forgive him. He's from Washington. It's okay. So food traditions are what bind our families together, and expanding those food traditions can often help us expand our family unit. When you welcome a family member from a different cultural heritage, their food comes with them. In this book, The Cooking Gene, which I mentioned earlier, the author is searching for his family lineage. He comes from people who have their ancestry in enslaved persons and various other places. But finding that history in lineage can be difficult for people whose lineage was suppressed or manipulated. So that was hard. In lieu of some of that lineage, he turned to cultural lineage. What about enslaved persons cooking in the American South? What about enslaved persons cooking in the American East, which used to be the Old South, but kind of isn't anymore? Delaware, Maryland, places like that. People tend to forget were the first places where enslaved persons were owned in what is now the Americas. But those food traditions carry with them a lot of weight. We learn from our elders how to cook or how not to cook. Some of us may have had elders who wanted us firmly out of their kitchen. That was their sacred space. That was their place to do their thing, and we should stay out of it. My grandmother was one such person. I did not learn from her how to cook biscuits and fried chicken, but it was absolutely expected that I learn from someone how to do so, which she made perfectly clear when I announced that I could do so at age 17, and she proclaimed somewhat grudgingly, "Well, I guess you're worthy to marry now." I mean, you know. My mother, on the other hand, did not want our help in the kitchen, but she wanted us around to fetch and carry. So much like the author of this book, a lot of my early time in the kitchen was spent tasting food. What about this? Especially dressing for Thanksgiving, Christmas, other holiday meals. Cue another fight about the difference between dressing, stuffing, and all those other kinds of things. But the one in my family contains lots and lots of cornbread, chicken, sage, onions, all those kinds of great things. So I learned standing at the side of the stove with a big spoon. It needs more of this. It needs more of that. It needs more pepper, Mom. And my mom would sometimes smile and go, "You're right, it does." And sometimes she would say, "Maybe we'll wait on that." My mom's dressing is still the favorite thing at all the family gatherings. I know at some point it will be my job to make it instead of hers. So it's important to me that I learn how. The other part of working in a kitchen with someone is shared work. Working with people in a kitchen can be absolutely delightful. It can be stressful. It can induce anger. It can cause us to see those things in other people, which we just can't stand. "Oh my God, why are you putting it there? Do you not know how to wash a bowl?" "Why would I wash the bowl? We're going to wash them all when we're done anyway." Working in a kitchen teaches us how to manage other people and our own emotions. It's like, you know it. And it also encourages a safe space. I remember making jelly and jams with my grandmother. This was the only thing that she wanted us to help with, probably because it took so much time. And I also remember making hot tamales. Now, I do not, as far as I'm aware, have any Hispanic heritage, but hot tamales came to me from Appalachian, Mississippi, where tamales are made in a big pot and they're wrapped in tinfoil, not in corn husks, and they're round like this, and you make a ton of them. So I always assumed that to make tamales, or jam, or jelly, or can anything, you had to do a ton of it. It was supposed to take all day, sometimes 3 or 4. That's what you were going to do. It's going to be hot. It's going to be sticky. You're going to get mad at somebody by the end, but you're going to go home with a jar of something that's going to be good. A few years ago, I learned while wanting desperately to make something for the county fair that you actually can just make a couple of jars of jelly. You don't have to make 40. I also learned about the same time that you really can just make about 10 tamales. You can. They taste the same, mostly, but they don't feel the same. They don't feel the same because they don't elicit the same sense of community and shared work that being in a kitchen and making food in abundance will give us. So I will eat those tamales, and they will taste good, but they don't feel the same. That's okay. Jambalaya, as Jory mentioned earlier, is a song about the wedding between the singer and his lovely beloved Yvonne. They go down the bayou, they get things, they bring things, they're going to bring things to exchange, they're going to have wedding gifts, they're going to eat, they're going to drink fruit jar, you fill in that with whatever you want, and it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. Food as a gathering thing is important across cultures. Indeed, one of the first evidences that we have of human beings, and even before human beings, even separate from human beings with Neanderthal and other proto-human ancestors, is cooking. We find our evidences of ancient peoples through cooking pits, vessels, food storage, things like this. Cooking is at the very root of humanity itself. And sharing food creates community. But this is not all good, the things that we do with food. In an episode of his TV show, James Corden recently received a lot of heat for a segment wherein people do some sort of thing and then they do some other thing. They eat something that's supposed to be gross. In this particular episode of his show, all of the gross food items were fairly traditional Asian foods. Balut, chicken feet, 1,000-year eggs, things like this. And the words that were used to describe these foods on the show were disgusting and horrific. Professor Lok-Soo from Berkeley had this to say about that. You use food as a metaphor for distance, the strangeness of a group of people that you don't understand, the way they eat, the way it smells. The way we think about food and our acceptance or rejection of it is a rejection of a culture and the people associated with it. I am a redneck, y'all. I am not the kind that waves Confederate flags and has signs for certain politicians in my yard, but I am the kind that comes from subsistence hunters, victory gardeners, and people who eat food that other people turn up their nose at. Show of hands, has anybody in here eaten raccoon? I'm gonna leave mine up. How about possum? Squirrel. All right, we got some more for that one, okay? Rabbit. Deer. Okay. Many of these foods that I grew up eating are considered low, poor people food. They are not acceptable in fine dining establishments. Except, of course, if that establishment is fine and expensive enough. The appropriation of food from poor people is not limited to African American people, enslaved people, and black people's food, though it is heavily done with that. The monetization and capitalization of food from oppressed and suppressed populations is broad. In our song Jambalaya, crawdads are mentioned. Crawdads are mud bugs. They live in the dirt. They're tiny. They're small. One of the criticisms that I have often heard from people not wanting to eat crawfish, crawdads, mud bugs, whatever you want to call them, is that they are so small. You have to work so hard for what you get. The same also with crab, shrimp, lobster. One thing all these foods have in common is that these were poor people's foods. They were foods eaten by the people who had nothing else. These were not foods traditionally eaten in the high houses and fancy places in early America. But once they made it to fancy plates, suddenly that food becomes exotic. It's special. It's difficult. And you don't generally, in those high places, crack your own crab legs or get the crawdads out of the tails yourself. Someone else does it for you. All the dirty work of eating the poor people's food is done away with. The other downside of this is that it creates a dearth of that food for the very people for whom it was their existence. Shrimp and lobster become so expensive that those living on the coastal places can't afford to eat it anymore. Another food that's become very popular of late is quinoa. Quinoa comes from South America. It was a staple food still is for many of the people on the Western South American part of that continent. But it has become so popular, mainly with white, affluent people searching for that perfect exotic food for which to fill their bellies, that those people there cannot afford to eat it. This has actually caused a food shortage for these people. They still work to grow it, to harvest it, to collect it, and to ship it off. But eating it has been taken away from them. Niche foods and the capitalization of poor people's food is a big problem. Local food has been talked about lots recently. Buy local, get your local food. Local food can sometimes be less expensive, sometimes not. Going to the farmer's market feels wonderful when you can afford it. And we don't make things better when we look down upon others for buying the food that they can't afford. Well, why don't you eat this? It's so much better for you. Well, because that costs $8 and this costs $2. I need that other $6. Sharing food with other people can be a way of joining our communities and experiencing those things that we haven't experienced before from other cultures. This can help us in learning how to use the foods that we have. When I was in college, we had a lot of international students, many, many, many. But my favorite two that lived on the floor with me were two girls from Thailand, two young women from Thailand. Every week they made soup. This soup was so hot. It was so hot that your face would burn and the tears would stream. And I eat hot food, okay? But it was so good, we all ate it anyway. At least those of us on our floor who knew these young women, talked to them, enjoyed their company. We loved soup day, and we would joyfully leave our dorm rooms to gather in the meeting room in the middle of that wing, between wings, to have soup with them. Some of the other people in our dorm, however, were not so happy. How come? It smells funny. They make the dorms stink. And I said, well, why don't you come up and have some? I don't want to eat that. Who would eat anything that smells like that? Me. I would. Tastes good. Have you tasted it? Well, no. We see this all over the place. How many have heard the jokes about Indian families cooking in apartment buildings and being told they could no longer do so? And how many have also seen very expensive Indian restaurants uptown? The food is okay as long as it's over there. As long as I'm not required to interact with what's happening when it's made, when it's gathered. As long as I'm not really required to interact with the people behind it. Making those jams and jellies and tamales required that I spend time with the people doing it. And after the first couple of times, we would also join those girls in making soup. I learned what to do with lemongrass. I didn't know what to do with lemongrass before. I have no idea. It looks like a stick. Okay, we're just gonna do that. Okay, great, cool, fine. I didn't know what fish sauce was or how it smells straight out of the bottle. And they laughed with me that it really doesn't smell that great straight out of the bottle. You need to put it in the food. Something we also learned from my Australian friend who absolutely loved Vegemite and laughed so hard at the Americans who would try it in a spoon. She said, "Why would you do that? We don't eat it that way. Would you just take a big spoon of mustard and eat it?" And we're like, "No, of course not." She says, "This is your problem. You want to take the food, forgetting how we actually are supposed to eat it. And then you criticize it and tell us it's gross." When we open our minds and our ears and our mouths to the foods of other cultures, we need to also open our hearts to the people who are making those foods. And we also need to open our intellect to where that food is coming from and how it's affecting the people who made it first. I love food. I love cooking. I taught my child to cook at a very early age. I made a decision that my mother did not make, which was to let my burgeoning food-making small person at 3 years old make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich himself. This was difficult. If you've ever been around any 3-year-old person, anything they do is going to make a mess. But I decided that that mess would be worth it if my child knew how to make food themselves and could then join me in the kitchen later. And they do. At 11, my child cooks their own food sometimes, and sometimes cooks food for me. This was not a benefit that I had growing up. I was not able to cook food for my mother when she was not feeling well, not that she really let me know. But I was not able to do that. Learning to cook is a matter of skill. Learning to be in a kitchen with people who are cooking is a matter of heart. You don't have to cook to be with cooks. You can fetch and carry. You can take out garbage bowls. You can hand things out of the refrigerator or give people a hot pad if they've forgotten something in the stove, like I frequently do. Cooking is a matter of community, and it always has been. I would encourage you to find someone this week to cook with, even if you only put a microwave dinner in. Making food of whatever kind with other people will always bring you closer to that person, or at least give you a better understanding of who they are. When we have dinners here at this congregation together, people bring food that is familiar to them. People bring their favorite recipes. And I have often seen dishes of food go untouched because they were unfamiliar. I've also seen people who have food differences, vegan people, people who have a gluten allergy or allergies to other foods, be kind of set aside, eating only the food that they brought. Learning how to cook food for other people is an act of love. I am not vegan myself, but I learned how to cook vegan dishes. I don't think our vegan friends and members here should be required to cook their own food every time. Not when I have such a gorgeous spread in front of me to choose from. Learn to cook something different. Cook with somebody. Cook with your kids. Cook with your grandparents. Ask them to cook with you. If you don't have them with you anymore, cook with someone else's grandparents. See what they can share with you. Stir the pot. Don't let anyone tell you that your food is wrong. And don't let anyone else say that about someone else's either. Y'all eat up this week, okay? Thank you.
Right on. Thank you, Melly. I can tell you're passionate about food. So this song is number 69 in your hymnal. If you'd like to join and stand and sway and shake a shaker or stomp your feet. We're going to get a little passionate about giving thanks for our food here. Here we go.
Give thanks for the corn and the wheat that are reaped, for labor well done, and for barns that are for the sun and the dew and the sweet honeycomb, for the rose and the song and the harvest brought home. Give thanks for the mills and the farms of our land, for craft and the strength in the work of our hands, for the beauty our artists and poets have brought, for the hope and affection our friendships have brought. Give thanks for the homes that with kindness are blessed, for seasons of plenty and well-deserved rest, for a country extending from sea unto sea, for ways that have made it a land of the free, a land of the free.
My closing words today come from two places, this book, once again, and then the words of Khalil Gibran, the prophet, which many of you may also know. William Michael Twitty says, "My mother and grandmother represented to me the last two generations and their strivings. They unified over the cleaning, sorting, and cooking of collard greens, although my mother began to insert smoked turkey after my Grammy's passing. This was the ritual that tied them to the women of the past. Many things were discussed over the greens, but I don't remember much banter. I remember the hands, the sounds, what was scrapped, what made it into the pot." And from the prophet by Khalil Gibran, a note about what we do with our hands. Work is love made visible. I got that on there. If you cannot work with love, but only with distaste, it is better you should leave your work and sit at the gate of the temple and take alms of those who work with joy. If you bake bread with indifference, it is a bitter bread that feeds only half a man's hunger. And if you begrudge the crushing of the grapes, your grudge distills a poison in the wine. Make your food with consciousness.
Thank you, Melly. Is anybody else hungry? I invite you to join me as we read these words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
And now Dory's gonna play us out a surprise, I think.
Yeah. Melly and I had a real fun time remixing jambalaya for UU and for Food of the Mountain, our Ozark Mountains.
They call me Joe, don't you know me, oh my, oh. Me like to sing with the folks at UUO. Like this one, it's so fun, oh me, oh my, oh. Daughters and sons are gonna sing some songs at UUO. Collard greens and the good brown beans, oh me, oh my, oh. Cornbread hot, soup and pot for you and me, oh. Good grape wine, ain't it fine? You ain't doubting. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the mountain. Fayetteville to Bentonville, the place is buzzing. Kinfolk come to hear Red Stephen by the dozen. Dress in style and go hog wild and be gay. Daughters and sons gonna share some love of you. Collard greens and a good brown beans, oh me, oh my, oh. Cornbread hot, soup and pot for you and me, oh. Good grape wine, ain't it fine, you ain't doubting. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the mountain. Daughters and sons will have big fun on the mountain.
And please stick around for coffee hour.
More food.